Now, answering your questions about the law and legal issues. This is Legal Break with attorney Gary Bruce.
Hello there, Maureen Akers here with Gary today. Gary, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here again, thank you.
We're here to talk about topics that are legal related that we see out there in the news. Tell us a little bit about, I think this has been in the news some, is slip and fall. What should I do if I've fallen? And maybe a slip and fall has happened to me as personal.
If you do fall,
Yeah.
of course, make sure you're okay before you get up.
Yeah.
But after that,
Right.
report it. Make sure you do a report. We see sometimes people leave and then have to come back, and there's some confusion about maybe where it happened or what happened.
Yeah.
And like everything
point.
these days, take a photograph. Figure out, here's the deal, figure out why you fell. Because sometimes I hear from people, I don't really know why. I had something wet on me, but look around, see if there might have been some flowers being stocked or a cart down the way, you know, that dripped,
Right.
or if there's some reason, because all of that really matters. I mean, you don't just get a recovery, you don't get your medical bills paid, you don't have a case unless you meet certain legal requirements.
Okay, and speaking of that, what do I need to prove a case or that I might have a case?
You
In
need
this
to
instance.
prove that the owner of the property knew or should have known of a hazard that they failed to warn you of.
Okay.
So, what does that mean? Well, if
Yeah.
there's yellow signs everywhere and they've been mopping, well, you're probably not going to have a case. I mean, you're being warned of a problem that they created.
Right.
But if they're mopping and there's no signs, there's no warning, then that's when people fall, and then there is liability on the owner or the operator of the store or the property.
Okay, very good.
So here's an illustration. The best case liability-wise I think I ever had was years ago. The store's out of business, but these kids went into a store and poured STP on the floor. The manager saw them pour the STP on this floor and went out with a mop and tried to clean it up. She just took what was the problem this big and made it this big, and then left with no signs, and my client fell in it. They not only knew about the problem, but made it worse and
Yeah.
failed to warn. That was a good case. Bad cases would be a baby drips his bottle behind, out sitting in the cart.
Right.
Well, the store doesn't have any real way to know that's
Yeah.
happening. So unless somebody's in the area and sees it happen, there's probably not liability for that kind of situation. So facts are very important.
They are.
Find out who the witnesses are, take photographs, document things, and then get well.
Yeah, absolutely. And possibly contact an attorney then if you need that extra help, right?
If you need a lawyer, call. Early on's better, so we can preserve video, so make sure things don't get destroyed,
Very good.
evidence that might be useful later.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Gary. We'll see you on the very next legal break.